All right, welcome. If this is your first time joining, this video is part of a 12-month healing series. Each month focuses on a different layer of mind, body, spirit alignment. You're welcome to walk the whole year with us or simply take what you need today. The fact that you're here right now tells me that you're ready to make an important shift in your life. By the time we arrive at this point in the month, something important has usually shifted. It's usually not dramatic or visible, but it's something internal. You may feel more aware of where choice exists. You may feel more sensitive to obligation, and you may feel more honest about where guilt, pressure, or endurance has been driving you. And that awareness naturally raises a question. What do I do with this? This week is about answering that question carefully, because one of the biggest mistakes people make when agency begins to return is trying to act on all of it at once. They finally feel choice and immediately want to change everything. And while that impulse makes sense, it's rarely sustainable. Agency does not need to be proven. It just needs to be integrated. And integration happens through realignment, not through rupture. So this week is not about bold declarations or dramatic exits. It's about learning how to live inside choice in a way that your nervous system can trust. Let's begin by naming something clearly. Agency is not the same as freedom. Freedom implies absence of constraint. Agency exists within constraint. Agency is the ability to say, this is what's here, and I still get to choose how I meet it. And that distinction really matters, because if you believe agency requires total freedom, you will wait forever. Most of us, if not all of us, live inside of real responsibilities, real relationships, real limits, real consequences. Agency does not remove those. All it does is restore your participation. And that participation changes everything. Now let's slow this down. As you hear the word realignment, notice your body. Do you feel relief? Do you feel fear? How about pressure to act? That response tells you how your system relates to change. Many people associate realignment with loss. If I realign, I'll disappoint somebody, or maybe I'll fall behind, or maybe I'll destabilize everything. But in practice, misalignment is what slowly erodes capacity. Realignment often preserves what matters by making it livable. Now let's get very practical. Realignment is not about doing something different. It's about doing the same things from a different internal position, from choice instead of obligation, from honesty instead of self-override. That shift is subtle and powerful. Now let's work on the body now. I'd like you to think of something you're currently doing regularly. As you hold it in mind, notice, does your body feel tight or steady? Pressured or constrained? Braced or grounded? Now imagine doing the same thing, but from the internal stance of, I am choosing this. Notice the difference. Nothing external has changed, but internally something softened. That softening is the realignment. And this is one of the most important skills in aligned living, learning to differentiate what you're doing from how you're relating to what you're doing. Agency lives in the how. So let's talk about pace. One of the clearest signs that agency has not fully integrated is urgency. Urgency is that feeling, I have to act now or something bad will happen. Whereas choice says, I can move at a pace my system can sustain. Urgency is often inherited, whereas choice is learned. Right now, ask yourself, where in my life am I rushing because I don't trust that I'm allowed to slow down? Notice what arises for you. That place is not asking for immediate action. It's asking for permission. Realignment often begins by adjusting pace, not outcomes. Now, let's introduce a key principle for this week. Realignment happens in degrees, not in leaps. Most nervous system changes do not trust sudden change. They trust consistency. So instead of asking, what big change do I need to make? We ask, what is 1 degree closer to the truth? Now let's practice that. Think of one area of your life where agency feels fragile. Now ask yourself, what would be a 5% adjustment that would reduce self-override? Examples might include saying no once instead of always, asking for more time, telling the truth privately, even if not out loud yet, resting without justification. Now imagine making that adjustment. Notice your body. If you feel relief mixed with fear, that may be alignment. Alignment doesn't remove the fear, it only removes self-betrayal. Now let's talk about practice. Agency is not something you establish once. It's something you must practice daily. And that practice means repetition, not perfection. This is where many people get discouraged. They notice agency one day and lose it the next. That is normal. Agency returns in waves. What matters is whether you return to it gently or punish yourself for losing it. Because punishment collapses agency, whereas compassion restores it. Now let's pause. I'd like you to ask yourself, how do I respond to myself when I notice I've gone back into obligation? Your response tells you whether agency will stabilize or disappear. So let's introduce one more realignment tool, renegotiation. Many people believe that once they've committed to something, they must stay the same forever. But conscious commitment can be renegotiated. Unconscious commitment feels like prison. I'd like you to think of one commitment you've been holding automatically. And now ask yourself internally, if I were allowed to renegotiate this, what would change? You don't need to do anything yet, just notice what your system wants. Agency often begins with internal permission long before external action. As we come toward the end of this session, I want to name something important. Realignment is not about becoming someone new. It's about stopping the quiet ways you've been leaving yourself. And those ways are often small. Rushing when you don't need to, saying yes when you mean maybe, overriding the signals you've already learned to recognize. So I want to leave you with a simple daily practice for this week. Once a day, I'd like you to ask, what would it look like to meet this moment from choice instead of obligation? Then choose the very smallest version of that. Agency grows through consistency, not through courage, not through intensity, but through consistency. Next week, we'll complete this month by integrating agency into your ongoing life so it doesn't disappear the moment stress returns. But for now, let this work be gentle. Realignment does not need force. It needs honesty, patience, and practice. That is how agency becomes livable.